8
Is
times?
that it? Are we starting? It's recording.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've moved 8 times since COVID started. And
Oh, this already looks a lot better than when I did it with the other two.
like just visually looks better.
Um, yeah.
You're
Well, sort
you're
of.
all
You
laggy.
just talked and yeah, no, you are too. That's all right. So the way this works is it'll come back, but the way this works is your computer or whatever you're on right now, it looks like a Motel 6. Um,
Dude, you should have seen
is
last
gonna
night when I had to like literally cancel this because my computer looks so bad. It's the Dell. They put their camera in the bottom left corner of the screen, so it's just like the
you'd be
worst.
looking down like this the whole
It would
time,
I
yeah.
would be looking straight forward and it would just be it's just the quality's terrible. It's all bad. So for the
Well,
sake
yeah,
of the
I mean,
show, I wanted to push it back.
yeah, no, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, if it so like as I think I'm probably blurry for you, like you're a little
No, you're
blurry
good
now,
now.
but
You're good.
when they get the separate tracks, is your computer will record it for me, and then I'll get it separate, so it'll look pretty
Okay.
clear. The audio will be nice. So that's the nice thing
Okay.
about this.
So it's Riverside's
But yeah,
fault. It looks like shit. Okay.
yeah, the connected part, but the separate
No, no,
ones
no.
when I put it together would look good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you moved 8 times. We haven't caught up in forever. The same
We
thing
haven't
with
caught up
Weintraut.
since, dude, I think the last time we talked is when you were like, I'm gonna do a podcast. And that was,
Yeah,
yeah, and now look at us
a
now.
while
Okay.
ago. Yeah, I finally got two off the ground now.
Yeah.
But I
I
guess I
just
start with
before I
this.
get into
You're
the
in,
moving,
yeah,
I just got my Spotify, whatever it is, yearly thing back.
yeah,
Tending a Lisp came in at big number two for podcasts. So
sweet.
I'm an
I
avid
had
listener.
two. God, that means probably 2 episodes. I had I had two friends that I was their number one, but I think that might have been my mom and my dad. But
Okay, cool.
no, yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. But yeah, we haven't caught up in a while. Same with Weintraut. And I guess to start it, if we're gonna keep the trend of this, and I can explain how poorly this show is going right now, but you are Weintraut's pick.
Right. I
And
mean,
I'd say it was like 50-50 on whether or not you were gonna be picked. Um, I was thinking at least, but I'm glad it went this way.
yeah, me too. I mean, talk about a jump in quality, dude. It is we this is gonna be the pick that takes off.
Um,
No, I owe
yeah,
that
this is
man so
it.
much.
Oh, same. Yeah, I trust me. Him starting this, he made a very special list I got on my phone that hopefully one day I can rectify a lot of them. But yeah. So you're his pick, and the other side of this,
I've
I mean,
heard
he
something
made it.
intending a Lisp. I've heard Lorenzo has a fucking
Yeah,
banger pick.
yeah, he did have a good one. And I don't want nothing's on Lorenzo, and I don't know the situation with the guy he picked, but Lorenzo made a joke in that like concept trailer we did that he goes, "Yeah, I don't want to be like the last one." I'm like, the way you are the last one is if you just don't do anything.
Yeah.
And he might be the last one because his guy just
No.
stopped replying to me. Yeah,
Was it someone like you knew or no?
we both know him. Yeah, we both know him.
Okay.
Um, so I think I'm gonna have to take matters
Uh-oh.
into my own
That's
hands
how
and
many
just start a
points
new
off is
branch
that?
here.
How many points is that off on Lorenzo's side?
Dude, at this point, Adam wins the whole competition. It was supposed to
Yeah.
start with those two and just see where the whole thing goes. But if Adam's the only one that's going to get anyone,
Yeah,
we
dude.
could end it with you and he wins.
I love it. Yeah.
But
It's cool, man. I
you're
like the
down for the
concept.
concept?
It's
Good.
I like the concept. It's you know, a good way for exponential growth in what you're doing and a good way to talk to people that you start out knowing and then you never know who's coming next. So,
Exactly. And I think it's different enough where it's not like, oh, I want to be so and so. Like there's too many copycats and there is
right.
similarities, but not having this in my hands makes it more interesting for me and I think for other people.
Yeah.
So I think it's different enough that we could do pretty well with this. And now that I think once someone does this, they're vested in it as well. So it's kind of like their thing too. It's like, oh, I better get
Yeah,
someone good
totally.
if they have interest in it. Yeah. But
Totally.
enough about this. Let's go into you've moved 8 times in the pandemic, you said?
Yeah. 8 as of today. So
So not really keeping
I'm
good distance.
I'm racking up numbers. Yeah, it's been weird for
So
everyone. But I
where are you
moved.
now?
I'm back in Minneapolis. I was in Bushwick, and then you know when COVID came out, that was like, let's get out of New York. It just seems like the wrong place to
Hmm.
be. So I went and crashed on Adam and Chuck's couch for like 2 3 months, which was
Hmm.
a lot of fun. And
I was gonna say
I
I
was
saw
living at
videos.
like a yeah, I was living at an Airbnb for a while before, just because I was like, I want to wait out the incubation period or whatever it is for COVID. So I lived
Yeah.
there for a while, then moved into those guys' place, and then moved to Utah to visit my family. My parents live in Utah, so uh,
Have they always lived in Utah?
no, it's pretty new.
Okay. Okay.
So I did, yeah. So I did that, and
I would have
then
never guessed that.
I know, yeah. I wouldn't either, honestly, but they love it and it's cool out there. So did
Yeah.
that. Went back to New York to move out of my apartment there because our lease was up, and then came back to Minneapolis. Lived with those guys for a short period of time again. Moved to another Airbnb type place for a while, and then lived in like a hotel for a few days, and then just moved in here a few hours ago. So I'm
A
just
few
like,
hours ago. Jesus.
yeah. So I'm like, I literally just fucking walk around the streets with like my life and my bags around my shoulders. It seems like.
I was gonna say you've had to ditched so much stuff that you just have one suitcase. Because I think I've moved around plenty in my
Yeah.
time between college and afterwards. That I mean, I have a suitcase of stuff, and now I'm back at home and I finally have like a dresser maybe.
Right. Yeah. It's weird because like when
So
I was in New York, I did what I thought was a purge of all the stuff I didn't need, and I still have like way too much stuff. I don't know what's going
yeah,
on, but it's
I
yeah,
got like four t-shirts, two hats, and a pair of pants, and I think I'm
yeah.
pretty good.
Oh yeah, dude. I live
Turn
off
your
like
under
2 pairs of pants.
Yeah, turn your underwear inside out every once in a while, or
Yeah.
and you're fine. Um, so do you live by yourself now then?
No, I live with my roommate who is in New York, and like my business partner and good friend named Nations. So his
Okay.
grandparents,
Um,
we're living at his grandparents' condo, and they moved to Texas for the winter. So we're going to be here for a few months and don't have to pay rent, which is a huge reason why we came back.
oh, that's perfect.
Yeah, worked out
Um,
super nice.
Now I know, so we're both trying to do the entertainment stuff, and Adam dropped a bomb on me. I don't know if you watched this thing that you're in a movie. I don't know how much you can talk about it or if he exaggerated anything. But he said you put together a little like clips, like you got them doing videos, like I got you to do my dramatic narrative. Only hopefully it looked a little better.
Yeah. Oh my God, we got to talk about that, dude. That it was a different lifetime. Yeah, so I moved into their spot and I was like fresh out of work. I mean, everything shut down when
Hmm.
COVID hit, so we were like, all of our clients kind of dumped us because of the situation. So we moved back here, and I was sitting there, and I lived there for so long, and I was like, what? I'm not doing anything. Like I feel like a fucking
Yeah.
waste. So I was like, I got to make the most of this time, or else it's just, it's nothing. So I wrote a short script, and then they helped me out. They were doing audio, and Nations was shooting it, and we shot it in a weekend, and it was all shot at night. So we pulled 3 or 4 all-nighters in a row to shoot this
Those
thing.
guys are awesome.
Those guys, yeah, no, they, for so many reasons, I owe them so much. But
Hmm.
yeah, I used that then to kind of like, I heard about this movie being shot in Minnesota, so I auditioned for that online, kind of, and sent them part of the short, and then for 2 months was like doing virtual auditioning, and eventually got the role in this movie. So then I, so then I was like rehearsing and practicing for like 2 more months. So it was like 4 months of work,
Hmm.
and then 7 days, a week before in case you didn't know, 7 days is a week, but in, 7 days before my first scene in this big fucking movie, I got COVID, and so it was over. They recast the role, so it was just like,
Shut up.
yeah, it was.
No.
I've been so careful, dude. It's so fucking annoying because I've been so careful. I've been living by myself, and I just had one encounter that did it, and it was a brief. brief thing, and you know, obviously they had to recast. So you know, it was a tough pill to swallow at first, and you know, funny enough, I mean, not really funny, but I'm still on like the email chain for the movie, and they're battling some COVID right now. They're everything's
They
on
got some
hold.
COVID
Sounds
demons.
like, yeah.
Dude, I mean, I don't, maybe it's a blessing for my thing. Like, I didn't think you'd be able to talk about it if you were in it, but can you talk anything about like what the
Um,
movie was, your role?
I don't know how I don't wanna because I'm still talking to like the producers and stuff.
Yeah, I
I don't
don't want
know.
you to ruin anything, but
Yeah, I can tell like
anything,
it's
like who's in
well,
it,
I
anyone we'd
don't.
know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a few people you would know, or at least movies that they've people have been in that you would know, and one of them's an Oscar winner, so like you would know one of the people for sure. Um,
Really?
there's yeah one Oscar winner, and then one person who's been in like Marvel movies, one person who's been in not quite that big a budget, but like still big movies that I've seen years before, and I'm like that was a great movie. So I had a small role, like I was in like 4 or 5 scenes probably. But like my big scene was with like the lead, and so I was nervous for that because you know I'd acted in like you know my short film, your
Humo.
short film, Humo. Yes, I was like I felt like I was scam my way into this thing. To be honest, man,
Oh,
it
fake
was a
it till
weird
you
thing.
make it, baby. Fake
Yeah,
it till you
really,
make it.
really, it was. So I'm
No, that
super. I mean,
bums me out. Damn.
I know it was a real bummer. And I'm excited to see it, but we'll always be like, damn, I wish it would have worked out.
You're gonna have to point out the guy that got your role, and I think we're
Yeah.
gonna have to hate him the rest of your life.
That's what everyone
Um,
says, dude. That's so funny. That's like
no, you
everyone's
can't. You
first
can't.
reaction. It's like I was happy they found someone because it was pretty short notice, and luckily they had like a backup for each role because they anticipated something like this happening. So
Oh, you have to, especially with the pandemic. But like, that's not someone you can actually hate because that could have been like you could have been the backup, and then all of a sudden you got that phone call like, "Hey, the lead's got COVID," and your life then
oh,
changes forever.
I
So
got
like,
anxious for him, dude, because like I spent
yeah.
a good amount of time preparing because I was like, if I have a scene with the lead that they can't cut, I got to be ready. Like I got to,
Hmm.
and so this backup, I can't imagine getting that call a week before shooting and being like, it's time for you to
Yo,
go.
you
Like
better have this
get ready.
memorized. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't mess this up. So you know,
Quarterback's
trying
down. We need someone.
to exactly. So I don't know, man. It was a bummer, but just got to keep moving. There will be more
Yeah,
opportunities.
dude. That is that something you wanna? Because when you when you first told me you were doing this, and like I always said to people that you are one of the reasons I was comfortable going into like changing majors. So like I started as an engineering major in college
Hmm.
and I hated it. I had a panic attack. I didn't like it. And I remember you talking to me like, "Oh, I'm doing this now. I switched from business or whatever you're doing." And I'm like, "I'm going into this." I'm like, yeah, I want to do that, but and it's a bad attitude or mindset. If I get called by my brother, well, oh, it's someone else. Um, one more time. But bad attitude just kind of be like, oh, because he's doing it, I can do it. But it was like a good push to have.
Yeah.
Um, and where was I? Oh, I hate that someone just called me. I'm going. I
Oh,
just
dude, it
lost my
throws you out of
train
your
of thought.
rhythm. Yeah.
I've had 3 phone calls now. I'm supposed to have
I just
another
put mine
one.
on do not disturb. I was like, yeah, I'm not getting distracted
Oh
because
yeah,
I
my
know I
brother's
would
called
lose
me
my train of
twice, and
thought.
then my replacement for the other side just called, and I told him he didn't give me a warning like I asked to, but oh well.
Yeah.
No, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so you got me into doing this, and I fell in love with it. And again, we're both doing semi-similar things, but a little different. But you
Yeah.
started with, I want to film movies. I want to make movies. I want to do all that. Is acting now kind of something
Mm.
you're switching gears into, or is it something that like, oh, I have to do something to get my foot in the door, and this is just an opportunity, and you're like, let's go for it.
Yeah. It was a mixture of both, I think. Like
Okay.
I'm not an actor that will just like take anything to act. Like it's not like that for me. I'm like an actor
Mm-hmm.
where if there's a certain role that I think I can do well, like I'll do that, but I'm not someone who will like
Mm-hmm.
which probably isn't a great thing, but like I'm not going to jump at anything just because like I want to act, you know. It's like I want to
Yes,
find some
your whole
character that's
goal
like,
isn't acting.
no, no. My goal
Yeah,
is much more, and my focus still is much more production and cinematography than it is acting. This was kind of like a felt like kind of like a reward for doing the short, that I like was able to send that thing out, and they were like, all right, we can see you
yeah,
in this role. So, you know, I like to act, it's fun, but I'm not someone who, I think I'm not like I can't fit a ton of roles. I feel like I'm not someone who can just like do anything just to act. I'm
yeah.
more
Your
strategic with it, I
end
think.
goal isn't Oscars, so you aren't
No, 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 no.
taking everything, like you said, like toothpaste commercials and Mentos, just to finally get what you got, and then hopefully you're the lead. You're like, if something comes up and I can do it, I'll do it. Otherwise, you're
Yeah,
focusing on making something.
right. I'd much
No,
rather
that's
have, this was a perfect film because it was like I have a small role that's with like the lead, which was super cool. And then, but
hmm
I don't have to do a bunch of acting because like I don't know, I don't want to like, I don't know, I feel like the more, if I was to be in every scene, I would just not have a consistent performance, I don't think. So I'd much rather focus on like a very specific thing and put all my energy into that. As
yeah,
an actor, as a cinematographer, I want to do a lot more stuff. So it was
the
a cool
whole thing. Yeah,
opportunity for
obviously.
acting. Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's awesome. Have you been working on, so obviously, what are you doing with the short then? So like that's done now. Are you just that's in the bank? Are you working on something else?
It's in the bank, most of it. I added some more stuff, so I'm gonna reshoot, or not reshoot, but add some more scenes to it just to build it out a bit more. And then, yeah, I've been helping out on short films around, you know, there's one in Wisconsin that my roommate was shooting, and I'm still just trying to get my hands in everything. It's kind of like a,
That's good. Yeah.
you know, jack of all trades, master of none situation, still feels like.
Yeah, that's dude, that's how I feel
That's
with
how you feel?
this.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yeah, it's tough. I've had a few connections through family of people who do like even like podcasting, or because like podcasting is obviously not the end goal. I like performing, not the humo stuff.
Right.
I like to
That's a whole
talk. I
different
like telling
world, dude.
stories.
Yeah.
That's nowhere near where I think any of us will go. But so yeah, it's like I'm trying to learn so many different things, but to get my foot in the door, I got to know how to do the production side, and I have to dabble with the podcasting. And I like this show because I can get out stories, I can test the water
Yeah.
with other things. But it's also difficult for me because when I mean we had like we were talking the similar major, but production is not my strength. So like I'd rather be the person that's putting on the performance than the guy that's um, mixing things or editing, because I am clueless. And so trying to teach myself how to do this now is stressful as hell.
As in this, you mean
I was
like
proud,
what part of what do you mean by this
like,
specifically?
well, this, so when I first, like, this, now that I'm doing this is like common sense, no brainer. This is easy because I found this, like, software, this company. But my
Oh,
initial
okay.
thought when I wanted to do this was I'm gonna have to buy a mic, um, like some phantom power if I wanted
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
special type of mic, ship and an iPad and a tripod and a light, and I'm gonna have to ship it to each person. And I'm like, no, that doesn't make sense. I was thinking it's gonna cost me like $1,000
Oh,
and then
yeah.
$25 to ship everything. And then thinking back, I'm like, that's such a dumb idea. You can just do Zoom or
Sure.
something like that. But obviously, what if I'm going to do something, I want it to look the best. Like, obviously, this isn't the clearest picture we're going to get.
Hmm.
So that's troublesome. And when you get the hang of it with all of it, it's pretty easy. Um, like setting up the Tending a List, that podcast.
Yeah.
Um, I I was sitting there, I was like, I have no idea how to get this on Spotify, Apple. I don't know what an RSS feed or any of that BS is. And then you just
Yeah.
get one app. It's like, hey, just upload the audio file here. We'll distribute it. I'm like, oh, that was actually easy.
Oh,
And so now I'm
huge.
facing the troubles with like video stuff. The video is like my crutch.
Hmm.
And the amount of chords or mixers, or I don't know what half that stuff means. I didn't pay attention during I sat on my phone playing Candy Crush during the cinematography classes. I
Yeah.
enjoyed
Yeah.
I enjoyed the comedy classes than anything
Right.
else.
Yeah. Well, I don't.
So
Yeah, UW. I don't know. It was a mix of like I don't think they taught the best stuff in general, but like also
no,
I don't know about your class, but like it's hard to, at least I thought it was hard to like really take it seriously and like put everything into it when like the rest of the class was clearly taking it as like a joke class. They're like, "Oh, like this is
yeah,
easy," you know? So like no one really cared. And like
there were like 15 of us that are like, hey, this is our legit major.
yeah.
And then the
Yeah,
rest of the people were like, oh, it's a comm arts class. And a lot of them were really easy. Don't get me wrong, like the
that's
comedy
true.
class,
That's true.
like the
I don't
hardest
think I
question is
took
like
that one.
what's the rule of three? I'm like, well, if that's the final question on the exam, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
I
guess
had to
there was
watch The
more
Heat
the
like
one with
15
what was that?
times.
Like Melissa McCarthy or something?
Yeah, and Sandra
Yeah.
Bullock.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I saw that a while ago. Yeah. And there was production classes that were, I think, like there was next level ones that I never took because I majored in business.
No,
I didn't even do this major either. So I
yeah,
took up to 355, which is the one that we shot year one together, which, I thought was all right. I thought it was pretty good. Like I liked that they were just like the assignment is for you to go make a film. Like that's it, which, forces you
yeah,
to do a lot of the work. Um,
yeah.
I like
It's
that actually.
I like the concept too. I didn't like um the genre specificity. So like you had to do a dramatic narrative.
Yeah.
Whereas I think I could have done something way better. I mean, it's not like it was either drama or comedy you could do. It's not like we were going to make an Avengers movie in my fucking
Yeah.
12 by 12 apartment.
Oh,
But
I would love to
um,
see that.
it'd be people got Halloween costumes on and
Yeah.
whatnot. But yeah, no, so you weren't going to do action, but the dramatic narrative, one got uncomfortable, and two, I didn't like it because I don't like that genre. And
Hmm.
so yours was good. So I'm like, oh, I have to do something similar to that.
Well, I
But then
love
you go, do
dramatic
you remember?
narratives.
Yeah, so that's something you're like way better at, and hence why I had you in my film and helped me work the camera for just about all of it. But no, do you remember sitting in class and we would have to read off what we were gonna do, and everyone's like, "This is my topic. This is my topic," and you're like, "Okay, so mine was about like my teenage brother smoking cigarettes at too young of
Yeah.
an age. Someone had a drinking problem, like I think yours was, and that was kind of like yours ended on a cliffhanger. I remember, which was great. But then there are people that was topics that were so close to home, if not
Yeah.
about themselves, that like this is like a confessional rather than a class.
Yeah,
And
because it's
then
like
you're
what
kind
else
of
are you going to
sitting
draw
there.
on? What else are you going to draw on if you're
Exactly.
forced to make a dramatic film when you have no film experience? It's like, what's the worst thing that's ever happened to me? Let me try and make that, but I also don't know how to make it, so it's going to look like shit. And then it just is cringy, It's like it sucks, dude. It's a weird system.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm putting down anyone trying like if people have gone through some shit, and especially in my class, there were some bad ones.
Damn.
And I'm not trying to say you definitely shouldn't have done that, or like if this was your outlet, like more power to you. I'm just saying, like whether you like it or not, it's uncomfortable for people, and that's okay. But it was just like oh shit, like this is for me. It was a realization. Yeah, this isn't my category.
Right.
And then when it's not your category, you're kind of like you go into it and you either half-ass it or
Yeah.
you're not gonna have good quality.
Right. And I feel like that's probably what turned, like when I was mentioning that people just didn't take it seriously. It's like if your assignment is to like make something super dramatic and you don't want to do that, is if you can't really draw on anything else besides stuff that's happened to you, that makes it a lot harder to go out and do that and put everything into it,
Oh
you
yeah,
know? Yeah.
I still want the I I saw the final copy once, and I don't even think I had it
I never saw
in
it.
the right format. And so now that we've graduated, I don't think I can get it. But I remember playing it. I couldn't share it with him. So first of all, we finish it, and I'm editing, and I'm thinking, okay, I have 2 days before I have to present it. My work Christmas party is tonight. I edit it like
Oh no.
95% of the way. I
Oh
go to
no.
this work Christmas party where we had both worked, and
Yeah.
these are bad. Like I woke up and I'm still like two sheets to the wind, it feels like. And I
Yeah.
go, oh, I have class. I can't miss this class again. So I go and I walk in. He goes, all right, guys, are you ready to present your movies? And
Ooh.
I about lost it. I'm hammered and I don't have it done. And it's like what, like 50% of your grade.
Yeah.
So I have to,
Oh man.
I lied to him, kinda, and said, hey, it's on my computer because I did all the editing at home. I downloaded that free version of software,
Sure.
and I didn't do it on the school computers. He goes, you'll just go last. We won't finish them today, so you can just go next time. I'm like, oh my God, thank God. Go home, edit it, come back. And he goes, we're going to have to do a third day. I'm like,
Oh, you
okay.
got another
And
day.
well, I had finished it and I tried sharing it with him. He goes, just figure it out. You're not going today anyways. We drew names. I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to share it, trying to share it. I get to the last day. I'm like, dude, I don't know how to get this to you. And it keeps, he opens it, it plays 10 seconds, and then it goes black, and then nothing. So I'm thinking I sent him a video of like I accidentally hit like
Oh
Control
no.
Delete, and I got nothing. So I'm panicking. Finally, I pull out my little like tablet, and I put it on a desk in front of 15 people. I said, "All right, we're watching it this way,"
No
and that was
way.
the only, way he saw it. The only way. He goes, "I'll just grade it from memory." I'm like, "Okay, cool."
You had
I
Brandon too, right?
Yeah, wasn't
Yeah.
a huge fan.
Yeah. He was all right. Wow. I'm
Yeah.
surprised they even let you screen it from a tablet. I feel like he would be like, this is not acceptable. And then just,
He was pretty cool at that point.
yeah.
In the beginning of the year, I wasn't a huge fan. Because I had him when I first signed up for the class and I dropped it. I was like, I'll just take it a different semester. Hopefully, I get a different TA. Um, so in the beginning, I wasn't a huge fan, but at the end, I think he's like high school teachers are, to their seniors. Kind of at the end, he's like,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
man, you're graduating. Like, just whatever. Like, just
Yeah.
give me something. You'll pass and then get out.
I felt that way
So
too
he's
with
kind of
him.
like that. Yeah.
I also, not too like dissimilar from what you just said. What it was the class where we had to go and like you had to put your screenplay on the board and everyone read through it together. I
Hmm.
showed up to that class and I didn't know it was due that day, so I had nothing. I had not started anything. So I did the same thing. I went up to him and said, "It's on my computer at home. I forgot it." And he's like, "Okay, you need to send it to me by the end of the day, or else like I'm gonna dock you
You
for
go
it."
home, write an
So I went
entire like
home and
screen.
just wrote it in one sitting, and it was terrible. But and then I sent it to him and then revised it. But reading the one that I had to write in one sitting to the class was just like so bad. It
It's
was
like
so
that was my. It
clearly
was,
written in
yeah. They're
one
always
sitting.
none of them are good. I think everyone's are written in
That's
one
yeah.
sitting.
Honestly, that was the savior. It was like, all right, it's pretty bad, but it's not a whole lot worse than most of them. So
Everyone's is like, yeah.
everyone's is probably
No.
wrote in one sitting.
Oh, most of them, yeah, one sitting. And then when he's like, all right, go back and edit it. I think I edited like two lines. I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Like those, that was one of the projects that I put things in that I knew I was gonna take out because that could be the edit.
right.
Like like
Exactly.
this is the story. I'll change it up. I'll know what it really is, and then it's. I didn't like it. I think my only prep I did was I wrote it all on like a study room's whiteboard, just in a bunch of circles to make myself feel like I was really trying,
Yeah,
and then wrote it. And I was like, all right, I'm good. I got
that's
a
it.
gold mine.
There you go.
My
Yeah.
nose is so itchy. Um, yeah, that class wasn't the greatest, but I do want to get a hold of that because it. I mean, it wasn't bad. Who was Tree? Tree was the other
Tree was
guy.
the other. Yeah. Yeah.
Have you talked to him lately?
I so when do you remember when he was doing the Instagram things where he was selling some of his prints and donating them to like different like defund the police kind of like organizations? He was like doing a charity thing with that. So I bought two of his like watercolor things that were so cool. Like they were both super cool.
He's such a good artist. He'd be
Oh, he's
fun to have on here
insane.
too.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
would be. He'd be a great person to talk to. And so I ordered two of those and I was so excited and I had them shipped to like my place in New York. And then I'm like, they got stolen from my lobby, basically. So like
Really?
thankfully it was going to a
Well,
good
don't tell
charity,
him
but
that.
no, I did. I was like, dude, these guys like, did they deliver whatever? And he was nice enough to be like, I'll send you something else just because I feel bad.
That's nice. I think he
Yeah.
might have multiple accounts because the one I have is it's a lot of photography. I didn't see unless I just didn't see the
I think he does have multiple ones. Yeah.
so I might not follow that one. I should go find it. I would love to have a few of his things. I saw he was I thought about getting a tattoo from or calling him up because I haven't talked to him in years as well.
Yeah.
But he was doing, I thought, he was working as a tattoo artist at, I
Yeah,
think, like
that's right.
Black Moon in Madison. I thought it'd
Yeah.
be really cool to get one from him because, I mean, like I said, he is unreal with
Yeah.
that. So I can't imagine it wouldn't, with a few practice. I mean, I'm the one tattoo I
Do you
have, I
have
let my little
tattoos?
brother do. I have one.
You let your little
It's on my
brother do
forearm.
it?
Yeah, he got a tattoo gun, and so, um, me and my buddy Connor, you know Connor,
Yeah.
Godowski.
Yeah.
We were both here and we had like this idea with our friend group to have a certain one and it's just like a fraction. And so
Okay.
we came back from a weekend once in Madison and Connor was a little pissed off and I convinced him, let's go do it. And so my
Wait, can I
brother,
see
the
it?
third and um yeah, let me pull my sleeve up. It's like a weird little fraction, 2/3.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Cool.
It's not,
Uh,
it's pretty good, but like
no,
his
it's good. I
third
was
and fourth
expecting like
tattoo.
a huge thing that, and your brother does not know what
No,
he's
no, no.
doing. That's good. That's
Just a
good.
giant
Just like
fraction
a
on my palm.
sleeve. Yeah. Your brother's like trying to dabble in the tattoo game,
Well, he's another
which
like
sounds
great
like he
artist, but
is.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
he's done 3 and 4 of his third and fourth tattoos were me and Connor ever. Um, his first one was my littlest brother. And I think his second one, I mean, he did a full like palm size. I could be wrong, but a palm size anchor on his buddy's thigh. And his
Yeah.
buddy's like, "Yeah, I trust him." I'm like, "Hey, man, this is his fifth tattoo ever.
Yeah.
The two on my arm
Ooh.
is a little crooked. You think a full anchor is gonna go well?"
I feel like
And
as a no, go ahead.
the anchor looked better than mine.
Really good on
Yeah.
your brother. I feel like yeah, you
Oh
got to
yeah.
have like if you're trying to be a tattoo artist, you got to have the people who are like, I'm willing to just let you go at it. Like,
Screw it. Yeah.
yeah, you got to practice. So it's like he's clearly getting better if
I
he
haven't.
makes a crooked two into a full anchor.
Yeah. No, I have another one. I'll let him do on my thigh. It's a little more intricate. So like a thigh, if it's not great, I can just that's covered more often than not. Um. But yeah, no, I would love. But yeah, I thought tree doing one would be super cool. Just to have
Oh
like
yeah,
my two tattoos are from a good friend and then my little brother.
yeah. I would trust
I don't know
Tree,
what I'd
no
get.
doubt.
Yeah, I would
I
trust.
don't
Yeah,
either.
I trusted
I
him
don't have
with
any tattoos because
my
I don't know what I would get, dude. That's like my biggest thing. Like I would get one if, but I feel like it's got to be super like meaningful or like something like that. And I'm just like, I'll get one day. I just don't know what it is.
yeah, I had that same thought for a really long time and I still agree with it. But then like if you do really want one, like something will hit you. And so like I was like in the mood to get one and I have three in mind that I want. And this was the one I have. The one tattoo I have is basically like a friendship tattoo with three other dudes.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's not like so like that once you get it, it's a slippery slope. Like you
Yeah.
want another one right
Yeah.
away. Um, but like that kind of goes out the window for some people where it has to be like super meaningful.
Yeah.
Um, I never understand the people that my preference, but get like if a family member dies, they
Hmm.
get like their name and date or like a picture of them on it because doesn't make hey, this is a forever reminder that like hey, they're no longer here anymore.
Yeah.
Every morning you wake up, there they are, but there they aren't. Like I don't like that.
That's not your
So like
style.
too meaningful
Too
is a little too
meaningful.
much for me.
Like a
Yeah.
reminder of something devastating every day.
Yeah, like let's say your cat died and then you put a picture of your cat on your chest. So every time you wake up and brush your teeth, like, oh, there's Mittens who isn't here
Yeah.
anymore. Like
Right.
that's just kind of like a
Just
depressing reminder every
cry
day.
when you're brushing your teeth every morning. You know,
It's a good little release.
poor mittens.
Um, poor Mittens, yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
No,
I get the family members more specifically, but yeah, everyone's got their taste, I guess. I don't know.
how
Yeah,
long have we been doing?
I don't know.
Now I'm not trying to cut you off. I
Yo, it's
did this with
over.
one. I don't know if you, yeah.
I watched, yeah, you guys
Um,
did like a 2.5 hour one, and I watched most of it because I was just, having fun.
the ending was I was pissed because I think we got the foot stuff in. Like we started talking about like weird foot fetishes
Oh,
I
I
thought was
know.
funny, and I
Yeah.
think that got in. Um, but and I mentioned this thing, I was like, it just like cut off at 2 hours. They're like, this just stops like the recording for like combined stuff at 2 hours. I think I can go over now because I updated it. But I was so pissed. I put the video in and about to submit it. I'm like, no, we're missing like 45 minutes of this.
Oh,
So
it cut
like
it.
now I'm
Is that why it was just his face for like a bit of it?
yeah, so the last half hour is it's a whole ordeal. So like they have, like I said, have the two separate video tracks here.
Yeah.
So when now that we have headphones in, there is no echo. So like
Okay.
when his video, you could hear my voice, but also from my recording as well.
Right, right, right.
So
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
hearing me twice, and it didn't sound good because we didn't have headphones in. And so the only way to do it was the combined audio because they removed that for you.
Hmm.
But the combined audio only has a 2 hour limit, whereas the single ones can go as long as they want. So now I'm not too worried about like I can go as long as I want. But
Yeah.
so
Cool.
like that I only had the 2 hour combined thing and then just had to add just his thing onto it. I'm like, you know what, it's the first video. They're not gonna be great.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think four people have at this I haven't promoted it at all, but I think like four people have watched it. And I think it's me twice, Adam once, and then
Probably me.
someone else.
I watched it. Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's definitely me.
yeah,
I'll be happily be the fourth.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So
Um,
I haven't been on social media since like August. Are you like promoting your stuff on there, or how is that going?
um, yes and no. When we first, when I first put attending a list on, because I started that 3 months ago. Um, I waited till I had 4 episodes on because I wanted. My thought process was have something where there's enough content that they can go back and look at it that they don't click and then
Yeah. Yeah.
forget the
Right.
first week. So I did 4 episodes and I said, hey, I started a podcast with my buddy Braxton. Go check it out. And then we created a social for it. It's got one picture on there.
Hmm.
That's not great. Um, and like 2 or 3 episodes, I've just taken a screenshot of the Spotify thing and said, "Hey, go watch it. This was fun." So
Yeah.
it's been nothing extensive. The problem is like with just audio, in my opinion, is I can't just clip like a chunk of audio and throw it on Instagram. Um, because then I mean, no one's gonna like stop at a I mean, I could put a picture behind it, but if
Yeah.
it doesn't move, no one's gonna stop and click on it. And like that's not something I can like pay to promote and like put it
Right.
out into the world. So and this is where like I was gonna ask you either probably off camera, about stuff like recommendations and how to do it because you're better with that. And that was one of my phone calls that called me too. But I want to get a camera, like a 3 camera setup to do
Sure.
it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just don't know the proper setup to do it. So I can clip it like you see a lot of the video podcasts and just here's 15 seconds and just like it's like a visual clickbait thing.
Right.
Like here's 15 seconds, here's the link to it, go watch it. And it'll
Cool.
be on YouTube then. So it's on another platform. So I'm kind of waiting on that, which is a good and bad thing. I should promote more. I don't feel not right, but just it doesn't seem right, I guess, posting old pictures of me and the co-host like hanging out and be like, "Hey, go check it out. This is us from 2018."
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I think.
so
I
little
mean,
by
I'm
little.
happy to talk about it off camera too, or whatever. But
Yeah.
I think visuals would definitely help for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna help and then it'll attract more, hopefully get sponsors. We actually today just crossed obviously it's gonna be a slow start, but our we just passed our first 1,000 views, which was cool.
Nice.
So that was
That's
it was a nice
exciting.
small little milestone to wake up
Yeah,
to.
man.
Yeah. And it's only getting better, so it's fun.
That's the most
We want to
important
start
thing.
interviewing yeah, we want to start interviewing people and he wants to. He goes, it'd be fun. I feel like we could tear like someone apart. I'm like, I don't know if I want to invite someone on to
You
just
just become the
absolutely
podcast to just
humiliate them.
destroy people. Yeah.
We had an idea I don't know if I talked about with Adam, the relationship idea.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah,
your exes or
where it's
whatever.
like you bring on someone who we either both had sexual relations with or your exes, and just you can like muffle their voice and or
Just
black out
torture,
their screen
just
if we do it
torture them.
virtually, and just be like, hey, or no, not torture them, have them rate your performance,
Yeah.
like one of our performances, and just see how long we can take it. And before, like, hey man, you're
Who
done.
taps out first?
Like, listen, sweetheart, you gotta go. I can't. I don't want to be embarrassed anymore.
Yeah, that would be
But that
interesting
wasn't my idea.
for
That was
sure.
someone else's. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. There's so many different directions I can go with that one. It's the there's a lot of people got two different shows now. Well, these people are a little more well known. But like this is, I don't want this to be I do want it to be serious, but I don't. Like I told Adam, I
Right.
want like if I like the pitch to someone that doesn't know me, because like you and I are just gonna have a normal conversation. Um, but the pitch to someone that doesn't know me is like, hey, I just want a story, like one. It could
Sure.
be heartwarming. I would like a lot of them to be funny.
Yeah.
Just like lighthearted. What'd you do that was stupid? Like weird coincidence. Like everyone's got one good story,
Yeah.
um, that their friends are sick of hearing, but I'm not because I haven't heard it yet. So,
Yeah.
um, and it can be fun, and to see where this goes afterwards, um, is fun. And hearing Adam like brainstorm pretty hard, be like, I go here, 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 and they could give you here, here, here. I'm like, well, it's not up to you who they give me,
Right.
but I like your thought process and the way he was singing. I'm like, yeah, all those sound great, and they're all like three or four different directions, which is the best part about this.
Yeah. Oh, Adam, he'll go a bunch of directions. He's a
Yeah.
plotter for sure.
Yeah, well, it's up to you now, so I hope you're
I know. Well, he
half as
chose
much of a
me.
plotter.
Yeah. No, I'm
Um,
gonna try and make some moves here. See what I can do.
yeah. Do you have any ideas? You don't have to tell me.
Yeah,
Um,
I've got two or three that I'll try.
two or three.
Yeah.
Do I know any of them? So I'm
Personally, I don't think so. Maybe
okay.
one.
Yeah. I
Maybe one who's been like at the W before or something, who you might have seen, but you were probably working.
yeah, that's a
I
lot of
don't know.
people.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
Um, that's a lot of people. Yeah, no, I have an idea who you could be thinking of, but I think it'd be fun too, eventually if I could do this like in person with people
Yeah, totally.
would be the goal. And I think it'd be cool if I just didn't know who was showing up until that day. Like you
Yeah,
just hit record, they walk in and be like, "All right, man,
yeah.
see where the next
Pop
two
in.
hours takes us." And I
That's a
think
lot
that'd
of
be
pressure
fun,
on
yeah.
you. Yeah,
Yeah, but if also if you they go in knowing what the whole concept is, be like, I have a story in the back of my head, I can tell.
sure.
I can react to it, and then I can have a conversation. If I'm a huge fan, if I don't know him that well, I get to know him, yeah, or
Yeah,
he or she. Who knows, man?
yeah, man. You
Let's see.
got.
The way with how slow this is going, it may take till 2022 until I get to person number six.
I know. Well, I'll do my best
That's all right.
to get it expedited
Yeah,
here.
I think I gave Adam a week. I gave him like 2.5.
Yeah, it's
This,
hard to
yeah. Oh
when
well.
someone else is
It's
doing the work, you got to be like, all right, just do it eventually.
exactly
Okay.
exactly. Like I put so much faith into other people, and that's part of what the hook is. But at the same time, it's part of the problem.
Yeah.
It sucks relying on others.
Yeah. You chose
Yeah.
it, man.
Oh well. Hey. Oh well. I
Less
have
work for
faith in
you.
my friends.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
true.
yes, and no. But I mean, you think about it, the hardest thing you got to do is text someone, but kinda, you also got to convince them.
Yeah,
I
they
handle
gotta
the
buy in
rest.
too. It could be like you gotta find someone. That's the hardest sell probably is like you not only you have to go on it, which everyone would probably want to do, but then like
Yeah,
you gotta keep going too. I feel like that's gotta be
yeah.
the
This
hardest
isn't
sell.
like yeah. Generating interest upwards is definitely the hardest thing. I've actually learned. I think I do got to still sell it because you can give me someone and then I got to text them next, and if they just stop replying to me,
Yeah,
it's not gonna
there you
work.
go.
Um.
Unfortunately, it sounds like that's what's
Oh,
happening.
unfortunate as well. Yeah. Um. Circle back here. Where in Minnesota are you again?
In Minneapolis area, like around Lake
Minneapolis.
Harriet. Yeah,
Are you? I don't know that area that well.
yeah.
Are you close to the guys? Like,
I
where you
am
used to
probably
live with
like
Adam and them?
the place I was staying at, the Airbnb thing for like a month was like 5 minute walking. Now I'm probably like an hour walking. So close enough, but not as close. I'm sure I'll see him all the
Oh,
time
yeah, to
still.
those guys. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
are they COVID free now?
Yeah, I think we're all good. We were kind of the
That's
trio
good.
that got it. So
Did you get symptoms? Is that how you knew, or did they like they obviously tested you and then they're like, "Hey,
yeah,
you're positive." You didn't have any symptoms though?
I got a text from Elliot saying that he like was going to get tested, and then he tested positive and texted me, and then like I went and got a rapid test and that was positive, and then I probably didn't show symptoms for like 4 or 5 days till after that. And it was
What
super
were
super
they?
mild, like cold. It was like a cold, honestly. And then
Really?
the only thing I still can't taste or smell really, which is the weirdest thing. And it's been,
So
it's been a few
that's
weeks.
like I think the most common thing that's happened to people is the taste and
Yeah.
smell. And that's been a few weeks for you?
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. And everyone has it different. Like some people are 2, 3 days, and then like I was talking to Bernie who like kind of like lost his taste and smell before COVID really even like took the world by storm. And he said he
Yeah.
still can't taste or smell like fully. It's been like months. So I have no idea.
Dude, that would
It's weird.
I
It
don't
makes it makes eating like a chore. It's the weirdest shit, man. It's like eating is no
you got to
longer
have like
fun at
textured
all.
foods, yeah.
Yeah. And like try and load it up with like any spice to feel like anything, to taste anything. It sucks. But could be a lot
Yeah,
worse,
that's
honestly. I've had it very
I
easy compared to most, I feel like.
yeah. I've had that's like the number one thing I'll do if I've ever are around people that like I hadn't seen in a long time. Because I like this whole time I've been around the same like six, seven people,
Hmm.
kind of like our own little bubble. And if there's ever like additions to it, I'm like, oh, you never know. Like the next morning, I've been thinking, I'm like, all right, let's hope I can. It's obviously not that quick, but like the next couple days, I'm like, let's see if I can taste my breakfast. And that's like, because if I lose it, I don't think I could. Like you said, it'd be a chore, and
Yeah, it's really
that'd be
weird.
a bummer.
It's like
Like, is it
nothing.
a
Yeah,
loss of
it's huh?
Would it be like a loss of appetite then too? Like I would lose my appetite. If I can't taste anything, I would have no desire to eat.
It's kind of like that for me too. Because like I kind of like you don't realize till it's gone. Like I don't know, you could even take for granted like eating because it tastes good. So it's like it's a weird. Dude. I wake up and I'm like, well, the joy of breakfast is gone. Like I guess I'll just wait and like not eat. I sometimes go like I just eat once a day, and I've always kind of been
I
like
mean,
a weird eater. Like I won't eat for a long time, and then I'll have like one like huge meal, and then I won't eat again for a while. I don't know why, but it's just how I've been.
I mean, I don't recommend this to anyone, but at the same time, if you're looking to lose a few pounds,
It's just intermittent fasting, like to the
go
extreme.
lose your
Go
taste
get
for a
COVID.
few months. You
Yeah,
go get COVID, lose your taste.
it's the
You
new
won't want
diet
to
trend,
eat.
dude. Yeah,
Just no food. Oh God. I can imagine people are losing a decent amount of weight from it then. Just like, hey, I don't need to eat. There's no point.
yeah. It's
Oh,
smelling is weird too. I didn't realize how much like smell comes up in natural conversation because like I swear once a day someone mentions something about like what something smells like in a room, and I'm like I wish I could smell that, but I can't. And like you just
yeah, I think the smell one wouldn't bother me as much, but now that you say that, it's just I feel like it's a second nature for us now that like, oh, we're just used to the smells. But I
yeah,
think when you get it back, something as simple as like your room is going to be so potent that you're just so
yeah,
used to usually.
yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. You're one of the actually as of recently, if I know a few more people that have gotten it, but for the most part, I don't know too many people that have actually gotten COVID.
I know. Yeah, it's been growing for sure.
Yeah,
And
oh,
with
definitely.
Thanksgiving and Christmas
Wisconsin's
coming up,
terrible.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it'll probably be a dark winter. We'll
I
see.
mean, yeah,
We'll
dude,
see.
it's
Because
we
it
live in the
sucks. Like
Midwest too. It's
it
physically
sucks staying
dark.
in your house. Oh shit! Did I just lose my? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, my AirPods are making noises. Like you can't blame people for like wanting their lives back, and like it sucks
No,
that because it wasn't taken seriously at the start. Like it's going to be drawn out longer. So it's like you have sympathy for people who are sick of sitting inside, but it's also like it's not going to, it's only going to get worse until it gets better at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the argument to me that's like, hey, just stay inside, um, it makes sense, but at the same time, I think if you look at it like psychologically, like think of us like we're animals. Like the training your dog, if you trained your dog to do something for however old we are, 24 years, and then like, hey, eat at this time, and all of a sudden it's just like, nope, you're
Oh
no
yeah.
longer eating. Like it's
Yeah.
not gonna just like, hey, just get used to it. Like that, it's gonna take time. Now, do I think it's been enough time? I don't know. Um, I'm not smart enough to know that, but it's one of those things where like psychologically people can't wrap their head around like I can't actually do this, why not? Like it's right there, but I shouldn't.
Yeah.
Um, so it's tough. It's a moral decision for a lot of people, but it's also a financial decision. It's a lot of things, and
Yeah.
I don't want to get into the ethics or the politics about it
Sure.
because
Sure. Yeah.
again, I don't know
People
enough
have heard
about it,
enough
but
COVID. People have heard enough COVID
oh God,
podcasts.
so much is COVID
Yeah,
this,
and we're
COVID
not
that,
saying
and
anything that's that's new or
no,
scientifically
it's
insightful.
we
We're
did
just
come
two
up with a
guys.
new diet plan.
That's true. That's
Two
true.
gu-
Yeah. Yeah.
two guys in what looks like the Motel 6 in somewhere Minnesota, and
Yep.
I'm in my mom's bedroom because it has the
Oh
best internet.
shit.
So we
Yeah.
definitely are the COVID experts you want to be listening
Exactly.
to right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you want to drop that winter weight. You want to shed it. Don't hibernate. Get out there and socialize.
That's sponsored. Yeah.
Sponsored by COVID. Oh
Sponsored
God, this might get
by
taken
Trading Up.
down.
Yeah, sponsored by Trading
Yeah.
Up. Not Charlie Hartwell is not liable. This is sponsored by Trading Up.
No, I'm not. I don't know who said that.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of the Motel 6, so I was staying in this hotel before I moved in here. And the second night I was staying there, there was a group of probably like 10 other people that moved into like the surrounding rooms that I was staying in. And so they all
Yeah.
kind of like checked in, and then for the next like 3 hours, they just did nothing but scream at each other in the hallways, threatening to like beat each other's asses. And they would go into like one room and keep going. And it was just like knocking on the doors every 30 seconds, being like, let me in, let me in. And so I was like, I was sitting in my bed. I'm like, I gotta see what's going on. So I'm looking through like my peephole, and these guys are screaming at this man who's sitting in a wheelchair, like that they're gonna kill him. And he's screaming back at him too, like he's like, "I'll fucking kill
Fuck
you."
you.
Yeah, and it got to a point where like they were going into like they were burning some midnight oil. It was like 12:30, and then the hotel staff came up and were like, "We're gonna kick you out if like we get one more noise complaint." So I was sitting there with like power just coursing through my veins. Like I have the power to just put 10 people out on the street. But I was like, no way, I can't do that. It's just I
You
couldn't
can't
get
do that to
myself to do
wheels.
it. No, no, no,
Oh,
especially that. But I was like, damn, dude. The funniest part about that story too is 30 minutes after the staff came up to warn them, they all started singing happy birthday to this person. So it's all been a birthday celebration that's been 3 hours of like death threats and just disrupting the
so it's
entire 11th floor. I was so confused.
so it's a family function.
I don't
Uh-huh.
know. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I didn't go out and ask, but
That's 3 hours of just like fuck you,
yeah,
happy birthday to
it
you.
was just like,
Um,
how is this a birthday celebration? And how
that
can
would
I make
fuck with me
mine
if I
that
was laying
fun?
there.
Yeah. I
I
was
don't know
kind
if
of
I
wondering,
want
like,
my
what happens if
birthdays
I
like
just
that.
like, what if I just popped out in the hallway and was like, yo, shut up? Like, what would they have done to me?
They either would have went their separate ways or you would have gotten involved somehow.
I would have been the
Like
next
they all
target.
would have like yeah, they all would have Wheels and the other group would have just either
Come in.
rolled you over or beat you
They
down
were
into
knocking
your
at
own
my
room.
door too, and out of confusion, they like thought that my room was someone else's. So people kept knocking on my door when I had a clear like "Do not disturb" sign, and it was just like, oh, what's going on? But you
They
know,
went back and forth so much they got dizzy.
exactly.
Um, no, I was gonna bring some. What were we just talking about before that?
Our insightful
The COVID.
political COVID commentary.
Oh yeah, we can't go back to that. I don't want to go back to that.
No.
I don't like tackling those things. I try and stay away from those on the other show too. Like we
Dude,
did
there's enough garbage opinion stuff out there. It's like if you're not
everyone's
if you're
got an
not
opinion,
devoting your
yeah.
life, especially now, to this stuff, like you're just talking about it to talk about it. So,
Yeah, I like having fun with this. Like that's why I want like stories. I don't need this to be news. And that's what I like with the other show too, is like, hey, Br- Braxton will come on and be like, hey, what's your real world problem? And like the one that's getting released tomorrow, um, he's like, well, I almost died on the way here, so let's talk about that. I'm like, perfect.
whoa,
Like,
wow,
where he thought he did. He almost got into a car accident. Yeah.
that's
And
scary. Have you
so,
had a near death experience?
um, yeah, I think, I thought I almost absolutely crippled myself once. Do
Ooh.
you know, near Madison, Hewitt's Nest, I think, or Pewett's or something like that?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You're doing the cliff jumping. I think you did it before. Did you do that ever?
Yes, I did once.
Okay,
I
so
think
we're
I'm thinking of the
there.
right place. It's cliff jumping, yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like there's like a hole in the middle of the, it's like a river, but all
Maybe
of a
I did
sudden
it at a
something's
different spot.
super deep.
Yeah.
Either way, so we hiked to it and we're doing, first of all, when you first get to one of those places, you're super skeptical. I'm like, is it actually deep enough to do this? And so a bunch of people jump in, we're recording it, and I finally do it. And then once I do something like that, I l- I get like an adrenaline rush, like a lot of people do, but I tend to take things too far. Um, and I almost did. So like there are designated spots you kind of jump from. And I'm thinking, oh, I want to jump higher. Now this hole, it's like me, like the coffee cup. You want to land in the coffee cup, but this hole, people can sit on the rim of it. So I go up super high and I jump down. By the way, I'm not high enough that people have stopped jumping and they're like, let's just watch this kid to see if he lives. And I jump, and in the video one of our buddies took, some kid, I think he might be 8, just goes, he's gonna die in the background. It's hysterical. And I hit the water, and my right foot hits the inside of the mug and glides down the whole, and my whole body just, I rode it like a slide down, like just right arm, just, and I swam up as fast as I could. They're like, oh, you lived. I'm like, no, barely. It scared I didn't do any, I think I did like the tiniest jumps from here on out, or from there on out. Like that might have been the closest I think I was to dying. I cannot hear you now. You're good. I'll just sit here. Hello, everyone. My name is Michael. I like my mug. It says, I'm trouble, but I'm worth it. My mom's a cat lady. I guess we all are cat people. You guys have suggestions on names? Let me know, because I'm not too sold on it. I think Charlie can still hear me, but who knows? He got his headphones from 1998 that came with the Dell computer. Yeah. Who knows how this audio is going to turn out now? All right, shameless plug. You can go watch Tending a Lisp everywhere except YouTube. Nope, can't hear you, buddy. It's okay. You might have to, we don't have to stop it, but did you, yeah, you're calling me. Yeah. Um, let's try. I'm not talking to you on your phone. I wish I can figure out a way to you can call. You got it? Can you hear me on the thing? Um, yeah, we can always come back in and do it.
There we go.
I think what the problem was,
There we go, right?
you have to change your speaker.
Is that it?
Did you hang up on
Yeah,
me?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
All
good.
right.
I think you had your speakers with your AirPods as
Yeah,
well,
and I go
and
into
so or your microphone with it.
the setting wheel.
That's all
Damn,
right.
so
I talked to
I
myself
just
a
yeah, I
bit.
heard you plug your that was a great plug. I just won the award for the best host ever. Or the best guest, I mean.
Yeah, that's all right. Dude, hey, trust me, Adam has 30 minutes of just his
I
face.
know, that
So
was
how do you think
funny.
I feel about that?
We'll put your editing skills to the test. But dude, okay, so back to
It's
it.
zero.
Back to it. So was the side of this thing smooth, or did you cut up like your legs and your side, or like what was the
No,
fallout here?
it was as smooth. It was as smooth as like it was literally like a coffee mug. People are sitting around it. I mean, they cleared out for it,
Oh,
but
that's
like I
scary.
landed and my foot, like it's my finger inside, and I skimmed down, and I was like, holy! Like I put my hand against it, like I was riding a
How
wave,
high up do you think you
and
were?
I pushed up off against the wall.
It's hard.
Ooh,
I guess it's hard to estimate this. I never can tell. Like,
I want to say like 70,
dude, you would have
maybe.
seriously, yeah, you would have fucked yourself up.
Maybe
70s, yeah.
50 to 60. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously not an extreme one, like people do way higher ones, but it was high enough where like if I landed, my knees would have been in my
Yeah.
throat. Like I just like I wouldn't have a leg. It'd just be
Yeah.
gone. I'd be an
And then
amputee.
people gotta like fish you out of the
Um,
water and like carry you and then
literally
yeah.
moving like a
Yeah.
fish, yeah.
Seriously.
That
Wow.
kid would have been right. He's gonna
Yeah.
die.
That would have been
And we're in the problem is like you're in the middle of the woods,
right.
so it's not like one of those like a quarry where you're kind of near the road for some of them. It was a decent walk to get
Yeah.
there, so it's not like we brought a wagon or an ATV that they can just throw me on the back. So that was probably the closest one I've had. I don't think I've had incidents where I had like inner thoughts to do something and then didn't, and then I look back, I'm like, oh, I would have definitely hurt myself
Yeah.
if I did that.
Yeah.
Um, like I had a buddy, we were driving the car once. He goes, drive on the literally he said drive on the other side of the road, middle of the day, and he's like, it's a hill, don't worry about it. I'm like, I'm going up a hill. That makes no sense. And I didn't go, and we got over the hill, and a semi came over on the other
Jeez.
side. I'm like, dude, we would have just went head on
Yeah.
to a semi if we would have done that, which
That's
I
the
never would have
worst.
done.
That's the
Don't ever
worst
try
thought,
it.
man.
um,
That's the worst thought. Getting hit by a
yeah,
semi is just one of those things that is like one of my greatest fears, dude. I don't know why. It's just like the thought, the visual of that is so scary. Because no matter what vehicle you're in, you are going
yeah,
to be the loser in that battle. You're going to get fucking flattened.
you're
Yeah.
screwed. I had a buddy my freshman year of college that we went on spring break together and we drove down, and he when he drove and we got next to a semi, we'd go from 80 to 110. He goes, I hate driving next to him. He goes, I don't know which way they're gonna go. They swerve because of the wind. I'm like, no, I get it. I mean, I don't think you need to go 110 miles an hour. My 2003 Mazda 3 is starting to shake.
Yeah.
We might lose a tire. But yeah, have you had any?
I guess there's two that kind of come to mind. The first was when I was in Florence, and I was at like a kind of like a cocktail party thing at one of the people's apartments in our program, and so I
Hmm.
was, you know, I was had one too many, and like I always just loved like climbing stuff, as you know. Like when I in college, I would wear that Batman mask
Yep.
and just like scale. So I
Yeah.
was in that kind of phase, except for I was in Europe, so it was all that much more exciting. So I crawl out of these
Yeah.
people's like skylight to get on the roofs, and I like went to the side of this roof and like sat on the edge, so my legs were dangling, and I was probably like 70 feet or something like that. And it was just like something I thought was super cool at the time. So stupid. I feel like that
Yeah.
was like an Instagram like videography. That was like the trend was like people sitting on rooftops. Like it's super
Yeah.
cool. And looking back, it was
Yeah.
just stupid. But anyway, so I sit up there for a while and I see Nessa leaving the party, whatever. So he's down on the sidewalk and I'm screaming at him in Italian because we're at the point in our Italian course where we're
Yeah.
like we have to memorize a paragraph to recite to our teachers. So I keep reciting this paragraph in Italian. That's basically like I wake up on Tuesday, I eat breakfast, I like brush my teeth, and it's like 2 in the morning. So the actual Italians are like, why the fuck is this guy up there screaming about like his morning routines? So I'm sitting there like dangling off this roof, and they call the fire department and the cops on me because they think I'm either insane or I'm trying to commit suicide. Yeah,
Suicidal. Yeah.
and I was like one slip away from falling 70 feet onto the pavement. So luckily, I mean, that was when I saw Joe leave, I went back and left, and then I got a text like an hour later from the person who was hosting saying there's 6 fire trucks and cars outside. They just like kicked in our door with flashlights trying to find the person who was like trying to commit suicide or like cause problems. I still have that picture of my dude. It was I don't know what would have happened if I would not have left 5 minutes before I did, but that was a slip up. That was
Oh,
one
good
slip
God.
away from
Especially,
the
yeah.
stupidest death ever. So stupid.
Didn't you have speaking of your time in Europe, weren't you detained because you were
Yeah,
allegedly flying a drone?
yeah. I wasn't
I don't
allegedly.
know,
Yeah,
again.
I was definitely.
Yo, I know I didn't know if you want to talk about it, but yeah,
Oh
you were
yeah,
flying a drone over whatever, and they thought you were
a spy or a
like a
terrorist.
foreign
Yeah,
spy. Yeah.
yeah. That was a fun one too. That was in Copenhagen, and I woke up super early to like go get like the Nyhaven, like the colorful buildings thing, and just got like
Yeah.
selfish, kept flying, just like I'm up there already, I might as well keep going. So I flew it for way too long, and someone came up to me, someone came up to me and was like, "You probably shouldn't be doing this," and they live there, so I was like, "Okay, I'll take it down." And as I'm landing it and packing it up, I look up and see these 2 guards with their assault rifles like coming at me, and I'm like, don't fucking shoot me,
I'm good.
please.
I'm good.
Um, and they didn't, they started like spitting stuff at me and I was like, I speak English. I'm sorry. I don't speak, like, I speak English.
No
Yeah.
hablas
Yeah. In
inglés.
Copenhagen. I'm like, no habla. Um, felt like such an idiot. And so
No sé.
they take me back to their base and, I'm sitting out there with my little drone, like sitting in the gate of like this base. And there's a group of soldiers like marching in front of me and like stomping and then like facing, like turning to face and look me directly in the eye. And I'm like 4 feet in front of them and they're just staring at me like, who is this idiot that we have to like, you know, be dealing with right now? So I had to try to explain myself. They weren't buying it. They called a supervisor who pulled up in like his Porsche and just whipped on like this crazy military outfit. And he looked like a lizard, dude. He was the scariest looking guy I've ever seen. And he was like, I had to talk with him probably for 20 minutes or so. He finally just was like, all right, we're going to essentially make you pay like 500, $600 to stay out of jail and we'll let you go. So I was like, I don't know if this is like a bribe situation. I don't know what's going on, but I'm not going
I was gonna say, do you think these people are actually cops?
to. Yeah. So then I rode around in the back of a cop car going through Copenhagen. It was a beautiful view. It was worth every dollar. And the cops were chatting me up, dude. They're like,
Jesus.
so like you do like videography? And I'm like, okay, just take me to the ATM. Let's
No
get this
shit,
over with.
Sherlock.
Like, I don't know why you're trying to like small talk me right now. I'm forking over like my life savings at that point to stay out of jail. Um, so that
Yeah, I have like half my Europe fund gone
exactly,
now.
yeah. So I learned from that one kind of.
I might just try and clickbait you on that one. Charlie Hartwell detained by
Detained, yeah,
Copenhagen
in all
police.
caps.
Uh, all caps. I can't believe he did
Yeah.
that. No, can't
The
do
other
that.
one,
I don't think I'll ever be that person.
hey man, it works, you know.
Yeah, but there's something about that that bothers me.
Yeah.
Like I know, like you got to play the game to win the game, but at the same time,
You gotta, there's a
rules
fine
change all the
line.
time.
Yeah, there's a
So
fine line. The other
yeah,
time I actually felt like my life
I,
was in danger was when I was on tour with Gravy, and we were stopping in San Diego, and we were, so for those tours we would like, we'd have like 3 or 4 cities where we'd have one opener come and tour with us, and they'd be like, be like that,
yeah,
that region's opener. So for the guy in in San Diego, like that guy had some bad blood with people in San Diego. And so this gang called up the venue like an hour before the show and was like, if this artist goes on stage to open, we're going to shoot up the entire venue, shoot up the bus, and kill every
shit,
single person on the crew of this tour. And like the venue came onto the bus and was like, we just got this call, like this death threat. I was like, I've never. It was like it's weird to have your life actually threatened, but like that. Um,
yeah. That's like a weird realization. Like, oh shit, things could go
all for
badly.
like some
You're
music
no
stuff.
longer invincible.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like some opener thing.
yeah.
So
Did you end up? Did he end up performing?
he did. I did not go on stage that night. I was like, I'm not risking it to film this show. There's like 20 other
Yeah,
shows
no.
that we can film. But they like, yeah, they called a ton more security to the venue. They called like the cops who were guarding, and they were like, this happens from time to time, and they felt safe enough to do it. But it was a weird thing of like, no one in the crowd knows what's
Wow.
happened. Like, no one knows that this is like a possibility.
Yeah.
And like, I'm just sitting in the green room being like, I'm gonna wait this one out.
That's crazy that they don't. You have a what seems to be a legitimate threat, and they don't inform the public with
Yeah,
that. Like I know, like you had that. Like all right, it would cause more
right.
unrest if we told how, let's say, like 5,000 people wherever you were or he was performing that like, hey, a gang might shoot up this place if this guy comes on, and then this guy comes on, like that place would go fucking
Yeah. Well,
bananas. So like it would almost cause more.
they made sure to have the guy like not perform and post on like his socials that he was not performing to like, make sure that that was out
Oh,
there.
okay,
So
yeah.
they thought that was plus the security was enough to like, mitigate the threat. But yeah, it's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's I understand that route. Like they don't want to cause more unrest, but at the same time it does seem illogical to be like, "Hey man, hey guys, I know there's 5,000 you you're like packed in here like sardines and someone might come in with a
Yeah.
gun if so and so
Yeah.
performs and not do that." Like, I don't know.
It was
It's a
we
weird,
had
like
a
you said, it's
debate
like
for like
it's
an
that
hour and a
line, yeah.
half in the green room being like, should we do this or not? And they ultimately decided to do it. But yeah, as far as near death goes, that's about
Dude,
it.
that's crazy. I just looking over at the recording
I
time
have no idea. I can't see it. So,
and I'm not gonna. Well, okay, so it now says we're at 12
oh,
minutes.
so it reset.
And I think that since you left and came back, now I'm really hoping the first hour is still in this.
Oh no. Let's hope. It's got this has had to have happened. They've
Let's
got to account for headphones losing battery or something. I
I
hope
mean,
so.
who knows? I don't know if they I mean, dude, whatever. I think we can easily I can call you
Yeah.
back. Um you're not a guest that's
Well,
like, hey man, you got my
yeah.
hour,
Yeah,
two
dude. Nah.
hours. I'm
Hell
out.
no. We gotta rehash out
Um
our COVID intakes and weight loss program because that was
yeah,
the
we
bulk,
get back.
you know, and
Oh
breaking
yeah,
down the
we need all
strategy
the
for the
COVID.
pod.
Everyone, there are people that are counting on us for our
Yeah.
opinions on COVID. I mean,
Yeah.
they're gonna live and die by the Hartwell and Cuske
Oh man.
method on how to live their life through a pandemic.
Yeah. It's proven, and I got COVID, so I would know. I would know how to get it and
Yeah.
how
Oh yeah.
not to get it.
You might as well be Dr.
Yep.
Fauci. You might as well be up there next to the president, be like, masks, no masks. You want to lose weight, get going.
Exactly. Yeah. Surprise you. Yeah.
Um,
We're not going to go more politically because there's a
we're not
million
going
jokes
back.
we
We're
could
not
make
going back.
about that.
No.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude, I had that issue with again, nothing against Lorenzo, but it's nice doing this with you and other people that are kind of in this um realm industry kind of thing, because you can kind of have less of a filter, whereas someone like he's in med school,
Mm,
and so there are things I like couldn't put in. Like he made jokes that everyone has made, and they weren't even bad, but he goes, I don't want to risk
yeah.
anything um because I have to be professional all the time. I'm like, that I get it, and I have their back 100% of the way, but at the same time it's like, oh dude, some of it was
Oh
gold,
yeah.
and having to omit that is, it's like, it's heartbreaking, especially when I want this to be as funny and entertaining as possible, and then to just be like, nope, joke gone, gone,
Mm,
gone. It's tough, and that happens with other people. Like I've had to fill in for Braxton on the other podcast, and people seem wonder, like when I ask them last minute, they don't know what to talk
yeah.
about, which is fine. But then they're so reserved. You're like, dude, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm like, well, I don't think the 30 people that listen to this right now are close friends, and my mom are gonna go
Yeah, they're not
tell
gonna
whoever
contact your
you work
employers and
for.
say, "Hey, this is some crazy shit. This person cannot work here anymore." Just letting you know.
Like, hey man, you know that guy that just graduated college and now works at your
Yeah,
bank? He had a few beers before he was 21.
yeah.
Fire him.
He
I'm like,
has the
yeah,
power to
people are probably doing
single-handedly,
blow under the
yeah,
desk.
he can
Yeah,
tank your company if this airs.
bring this company
Yeah.
down. Yeah. It makes no sense, but at the same time, I understand where they're coming from,
Oh
especially being
yeah.
the low man on the totem
Oh yeah.
pole for
No,
those
I get it
things.
too.
Like you got to take all precautions.
Yeah, isn't
It's
it
just
weird?
that's why I kind of like doing
I
this.
think about this from time to time, especially like in what we're doing. There's a fine line between like if you do something that's kind of like edgy or on that line that pays off, it has the power to like push you forward a hell of a lot. But if you don't
Hmm.
balance on that line very well and do something that's very offensive, it can just fucking take you the complete other way. So like it's a weird game that you're playing of like, people love edgy humor and like some sort of controversy, but it can be taken, it can obviously be taken too far. And so you got to feel that out and it's risky when you're starting
It's
out especially.
it's so true, and my friends are probably so sick of me saying, but like I always say it's like walk the line. But then I compare it to like a tightrope, and it's with every aspect of life if you think
Right.
about it. Where yeah, and the worst part about it too is that line moves. It's not the same line your whole life. It could be here 1 second, now it's over here. Like, oh, cool. But then once you get to that line, people will still push that
Hmm.
boundary. But what sucks is if you teeter back and forth a little bit, that's fine. It's the problem is when you're searching for it and you go so far one way that you're basically in trouble, that you to get back to balance, and like basically like if you make an edgy joke and you might get canceled kind of thing, to get back to that equilibrium you have to go so far the other direction to try and make up for it,
Hmm.
and like that's no fun. No one wants to do that, and that sucks. You don't want to be that person that's like constantly on both ends, and so it's difficult to try and do that. And like you said, you got to walk that line, and if the line changes, find it again. It's
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun though for me, is to be a little more edgy, have like that line is your opinion, and hopefully it lines up with other people.
Yeah.
It's fun to look for it,
It's
try and find it, try and walk it,
right.
but it's difficult, and it can be stressful sometimes. Like if you record something like this or the episode I did yesterday, and like I'll sit on it before it gets released, and I'm like, did I say anything that could
Hmm.
just blow this out of the
Yeah.
water? And you got to risk it.
Right. And like just like you said, like the line changes given the different times, but like also everyone has a different line. So like
Yeah,
you could do something that for some people
exactly.
is like totally fine, but for others is like I will never even give this person a
Yeah,
chance again. And not that you're doing or I'm doing
and then
anything
at
that's
that point,
like even remotely close
yeah,
to
no,
that, but I'm
exactly.
just saying, yeah.
I hope one day I can get to that point where it's like, all right, that was edgy, but it
Yeah,
worked. But yeah, I think that's also a thing. Like like you said, everyone has different lines, and you kind of just have to say fuck it at some point. Like if you have a few people at your line, then you know it's not that bad. If you realize no one else is agreeing with you,
yeah,
then yeah, bring it down. But no one always is going to agree with you, and people get offended by the dumbest shit
right.
now. So
Yeah, can't control it.
some people got some really, really low lines.
Yeah, it's up to you, I guess. And I mean, if you feel a certain way about something, you're going to do it and take the risk anyway. So I don't think there's anything that either of us are so strongly about. Like, I don't care if this person thinks I'm, whatever it is. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm pretty in the middle with a lot of
Oh
things.
yeah,
Pretty in the
same.
middle. Yeah, it's just a very indifferent. I think it's a good way to put it. Like I don't care. Like a lot of it's I think a lot of things aren't as big of a deal as we make them out to be, and that'll probably piss off a lot of people. But at the same time, I think a lot of people agree with it. It's like we need to chill
Yeah,
out.
that's why a large reason I got rid of all my socials is just like it's all drama and like people hating things and like it felt so toxic to every day to like just have everything be judged and it's fueled on like it felt fueled on like controversy and like people hating things, at least in my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it, but
Yeah, I think I think you're allowed to hate things to a point. Like you dislike, I think is a better term. I think the way I interpret what you said is, and what I don't like either is like, hey, you're allowed to dislike someone's thing. You don't need to voice it. Like the people that feel the need to like click, comment, whatever, like, whatever. Like let people
right.
be the fake Instagram person, let whatever. And if you don't want to look at it, don't look at it. The unfollow button
It's there.
takes less
Yeah,
time to
it's
hit
there.
than the comment and type it
Yeah.
out. Like if you don't like it that much,
The
don't
people
look
who
at it.
comment like paragraphs, books on like why they hate something, I'm like, don't you have anything else to do? Like, what is this
Better to
accomplishing?
do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's
Does this make you happy? It's stupid, and I agree. And um, it takes a not a special person, but a lot of people like if you can just ignore it, it's a lot
yeah,
better. And if some people like if you don't like you, if you just don't want to see it at all, more power to you. Like a lot of people are addicted to it, so they can't delete it. I haven't deleted mine. I still don't have a Twitter. I don't have a TikTok. Um, I have Instagram, and the last thing I posted was about my podcast. Like I don't do any posting on
yeah,
anything. I have a Snapchat. I think if you snap me once now, you'd be my best
yeah,
friend on it.
yeah.
Um, dude, it's so I don't use them. It's more like a let's check in to see what else everyone else is doing for
Yeah,
me. Um,
yeah, nothing
other
wrong
than
with
that,
that,
yeah, it's
obviously either. It's just for me, I was like,
no, it doesn't need to be. Yeah, you delete. By the way, you deleted all of them.
yeah, I think I still like I have all that up. I just deleted all the apps, and so I don't go on them. It was just like a huge waste of time for me. Like I felt myself I could use my time a lot more efficiently. And so I would just be like, it's something to do. And I'm really not, the more I sat with it, the more, so like when I would go on like, I'd spend like, 4 hours on like Reddit or something on a day. And then I'd wake up the next day and I'd be like,
Yeah,
what's one thing I remember from my 4 hours of scrolling that stuck with me that I'm going to take forward? And I could not think of
exactly.
one single thing. So I was like, all right, this is a waste of time. I can be doing other stuff.
It's yeah. No, that's a good way to put it. If it's not beneficial to you whatsoever, um, yeah, then get rid of it because I think then it's more negative than
Yeah.
anything. The entertainment aspect of it is void. Um, I like it because every once in a while, like I'll look at it for a little bit news. Seeing little things that go on in the world help me with like writing a bit or
Yeah.
like topics to talk
Yeah.
about, and I think that's what I get most out of it. And the problem is I could scroll for 4 hours, but I get like a 2 minute talking point.
Right.
It's like I don't see like the return on that isn't great, but right now I need it. Needing it is a strong word, but
Right. No,
um,
it's so addicting,
it
dude.
helps rather than like because it is kind of hard for for me, like at least relevant stuff to talk about for like these shows or writing a bit, like you need relevant topics. And if I just deleted everything, because that is the world
Oh
now,
yeah,
is
dude.
that stuff. If
100%.
I just deleted everything, like everything that came to my head, if I just sat in my room, would be, especially in COVID, I'm not hanging out with a bunch of people right now, so I don't have a bunch of life experiences to talk about.
Yeah.
Like I would run dry.
Yeah.
Um, but
No, it makes sense. And I think
whatever. I
it's
think
like,
I would hope one day I can just
and you don't need like, I think it's kind of an extreme route also to delete all of them, but it's also, it's like, it's a tool if you want to use it as a tool. And like for me, I felt like I wasn't using it as a tool. I was just using it to like, it was just wasting time. So
yeah, it's a time killer. It's a
yeah.
crutch. I've noticed that. That bothers me is, and I'm so guilty of it. Every once in a while, but you're on your like you we use our phones so much that if a you be watching a movie or a TV show that you've been wanting to watch forever, let's say like when the new Game of Thrones seasons were coming out, people are obsessed with
Right.
it. And it can be like a 2 minute commercial and you're instantly reaching for your phone.
Hmm.
Like right when the commercial starts, like where's my phone? I can't go these two
Yeah.
minutes doing nothing or like my own thoughts. I have to
Yeah.
numb myself
Yeah.
again. That bothers me when I see myself doing that, and then I'll like throw my phone. I'm like, no, I don't want to be that
I don't need
person.
it. Yeah.
Um, I don't need, yeah. Yeah, that's what bothers me is how much it can be a crutch, and like a social crutch. Just like even with yourself, if you can't sit with
Oh
yourself for
yeah,
more than
dude.
2 minutes, I think that's
That's the, with COVID, that's like been the ultimate test is like there's never been a time where you need to just be comfortable like sitting with yourself. And so when this thing is there that easily takes you out and just distracts you from anything, uh it's yeah, it can be dangerous. But
you got to find a hobby. Like I like working out, so like I'll do like a bike in the morning and then go work out in the afternoon. Just like I'll have music
yeah,
on, but I'm not like staring at my phone. I hate the people that stare at their phone at the gym. Like, what are you doing? Like, if you're looking for a workout, fine.
people just
But like, if
pacing
you're
around,
scrolling
just
Instagram,
pacing around. Yeah,
like your workout was pacing. That
right.
was it.
Your thumbs are
I
fucking
hate that.
ripped though.
I absolutely hate it.
The thumb bicep, dude.
Yeah,
You seen that? Yeah,
huge.
it's the ultimate. Yeah.
The thumb. Your my right's got to be way bigger than my left. I wonder if you could actually flex your
I don't
thumbs.
know. I've never looked at it like
Oh
this.
man.
This is weird. This is what the people
We're doing
want to
hand
see, man.
stuff.
This is why
Yeah.
people tune in, is to see our hand biceps, our thumb biceps.
I was thinking about you can tell me, you and Adam are friends because me and Adam put our
Yeah,
feet to the
yeah,
thing and we're putting our hands
right.
like
I
this
mean,
to the thing. Uh, oh, that'll be another thing I think is fun is eventually finding out how you guys know certain people.
what do you mean?
Just be like, how the fuck did you meet? Like if Adam's one of his potential, I don't think it would have happened because it would have been a long shot. Um, but Paul Allen, who does the Vikings
Yeah,
games, and he's like, maybe I could get him. I have a loose connection with him. I'm like, that'd be cool. It'd be a huge jump from like college roommate to the guy who announces the Vikings games. But then asking this guy like, hey man, how do you know Adam? And he'd be like, I don't know. He showed up at my door
yeah,
one day and he was
yeah,
here. And just like getting those stories would be
yeah.
cool. Because a lot of those are like weird meetups. Like
Oh yeah,
I ran into him at a coffee bar. I don't know. He tried hitting on my daughter. We became best
sure.
friends.
We talk
It's
all the time.
weird stuff like that. And like I said,
Yeah,
yeah, we
we talk
talk.
all the time.
He
It's
was
one
over
of
for
one of
Thanksgiving.
my dearest friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, man,
Um,
it's a good like
I
unpredictable show where you have no idea where it can go, which is part of the excitement about it.
yeah, yeah. And I like I said, I hope it we can wrap this up here soon. But I hope it gets to a point where I can be surprised with people. And at the end of the
Yeah.
day, if this ends up just being a thing where we talk to our friends, it'll be
Hey,
fun.
man, it's the first time we've talked in
I
a
get to
while,
connect with
so
like yeah,
yeah, I'm happy to
yeah.
do
It
it.
was good. It was good. So
What are we at, like
like with
15
Adam,
minutes now?
stay on. I'll end this. We're at 28, so I think we're
Oh,
at like an
okay.
hour and a half, which is pretty
Yeah,
good.
that's not bad.
Um, but we may only be at 28. We don't know.
All right.
Um,
Well, let me
I'll know
know
when
what happens.
we're done with this. Yeah, we'll have to. I'll call you back tomorrow then. But yeah, stay on afterwards, chat for a second, and then I'll let you go for good. But again, thank you for doing this.
Yeah, man, it's fun.
I'll say you got a week to try and find someone.
Okay.
Again, it's the beginning of this, so no rush. I have to call someone to get another one as well, but try for a week. If you don't have to get me Bill Gates, but if you can get me Bill
Yeah,
Gates, get me Bill Gates.
that's my first pick. I don't know how you knew that, but it's like I'm
That
putting all my
dude,
chips in.
yeah, I thought
Me and
you got him on
Bill,
speed
yeah,
dial, right?
we have a mutual connection for sure.
I've said that with Adam too, is like Bill Gates. I don't know why Bill Gates is like the one guy that
I would
came to
love to
my
see
mind. Like,
if
and
Bill
of all the
popped up, how
people,
what your approach would be with Bill Gates. I would love to see
at
that.
first I think my headphones just went out.
Oh,
Can you hear
I
me?
can, yeah.
Who knows? Let's end this shit. If Bill came, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably stare at him for a
Yeah,
bit in
yeah,
disbelief.
that would be terrifying.
All right, we'll end this again. Thanks
Yeah,
for
man.
coming. Stay on.
Sounds good.